everybody, what is going on? Welcome to another episode of the All Pro JAFFOs Highly Elevated Sports Talk for the Highly Elevated Sports Fan. I'm your host, JP.
Hey, yo.
You know, technically late, but with us as every Wednesday, talking some Formula One and talking a little bit about the tech behind it today. Going into this weekend's race in Melbourne, Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Sunshine, Caleb, CJ, whatever you want to call him. The F1 guy. He's here with us today. What's up, bro?
Nothing much, man.
It's another day in the life, huh?
Yeah.
The good life, though. Things are looking good for
Yeah.
both of us. I like it. I like
Yeah.
how things are turning out. We're working for ourselves, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Going into business for ourselves. That's what we've always done, so fuck it. Might as well do it as adults, right?
That's all right.
As
Or
well.
at least
So,
try.
so we talked about it a little bit, like I kind of confirmed, and now your excitement is a little bit more, relevant to the fact that Red Bull, it says the technical implications of Red Bull powertrains and Ford F1 engineering, in their partnership in 2026. All I'm
America.
saying is this:
America.
Ford has a lot to live up to.
Yeah.
They've got big shoes to fill. They've got a lot to prove. They've got a ton to prove.
They're the third most winning manufacturer in the history of racing. They haven't been in they had a power unit that was built for Schumacher as well. Schumacher won in the Ford. So I mean, you can have some high expectations no matter what, but
So say you can't come in here and suck.
yeah, but Formula One is Ford knows where it's at. And they got a blank check to make it whatever power unit they want to freaking make and sell it
Pretty
for whatever
much.
they want to make, and
Exactly.
they don't have to stay within cost cap limits. But you know what? When Max wins another one, or Checo even, just the way he's been racing, I mean, it's really going to be nice.
This is the internal combustion engine. Will run on 100% sustainable fuel,
Mm-hmm.
which must be sourced from non-food biosources,
Mm-hmm.
municipal waste, or certified carbon capture schemes.
Means you can't just use cooking oil.
Changing the game when it comes to fuel efficiency. And I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's relevant because I feel like there are certain things to certain sports in our society that actually translate to society.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to, do you think racing has a big influence on how engineers look at fuel efficiency for cars on the normal basis, like for regular cars?
I mean,
Because you're dealing with such high performance and stuff like that testing, you're able to test the limits of a lot of these fuel efficient
well,
engines
you have to
to be able
realize
to do the general public.
you have to realize that these are two completely different types of engines, different types of. I mean, the
Well, what
specs
I'm
on
saying is you
so
can look
much.
at these engines and engineer them to be able to
Yeah, but
fit.
I mean, even in a 20 race season, they change their power units 2-3 times a year.
Well,
So
no, I understand because
I
of the
mean, like
high
as far as
performance of it.
racing engines go, um, those just they don't last very long, and I mean, like they're not built to. I mean, they just, it's a completely different monster. You know what I mean? Like they may take, Mercedes did the F1 AMG, right? They took some inspiration from the F1 Formula One and like implicated it into the engine and all that stuff, but and like the specs of the car as far as like the steering wheel and like the bucket seats, all that stuff, like suspension wise. Um, but it's really just it would be more of a hobby car rather than an everyday driver like a Tesla or like you know. But I think in some instances, yeah, like when you see your Corvettes and you see your
Keep talking like me.
C8s and all that stuff, like you might take some inspiration from that, but as far as your everyday road car, it's not
It's
something.
not something that they look at as some, for performance wise for regular cars. Because
No.
if I'm being honest, if I'm an engineer looking for something fuel efficient and something like that, I would like to look at high performance tech to be able to get a decent, gauge on certain aspects on, or especially when it comes to the fuel source,
But
not just the power
even
unit.
well, you have to think about it. These engines and stuff, they're not made out of the same stuff that like a road car is made out of. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's not made for a road car is built for taking a beating. It's heavy, it's clunky, it's all of that stuff. And a race car engine is much lighter. The material used is much lighter. So I mean, you can't really gauge it. You know what I mean? Like you can take inspiration from it, but you wouldn't be able to put anything legal on it. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess I get what you mean. I just think about it going, you know, when you're trying to look for like different fuel sources, which a lot of these companies and engineers and stuff go over there are doing because they're looking for fuel efficiency.
hmm
They're looking for
Well,
like when it comes to actual like
like we
gas
talked
that they use
with
for the
with with Volkswagen when we were talking about that before the show is Volkswagen. They pulled out Audi. They pulled out every sport that didn't use 100% sustainable fuel or electric. They pulled out of it. All of their engines, Porsche, everything, the entire umbrella corporation, pulled all of their race cars out and said, "We're not going to race until you change your regulations to be 100% sustainable or electric." They're really big in Formula E right now. You go over to Formula E and you see all that, but um, yeah, it's starting to become a much larger scale of we these are things that we want to see happen. And but I mean, it's just changing with the times.
yeah. I mean, it's not just Ford, but Audi is also
hmm
entering the Formula One, the FIA Formula One World Championship as a power unit supplier,
hmm
starting in 2026. Says here, and this is all via racecarengineering.com. I just want to give them their credit and stuff for this information that I'm looking at here. Marking the first time in more than a decade that Formula One powertrain will be built in Germany.
hmm
Uh, it says the company's motivation to join F1 derives from F1's plan to become more sustainable and cost efficient. That's what it says.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Most
now
most
more companies are starting to get into the game.
Yeah, yeah, and you're gonna see that just because these companies are they're very much of the same. We want sustainable. We want you know good for the environment. Um, Apparently, they don't want good lap times, but whatever.
I mean, it is what it is. I just look at it all as an opportunity for engineers to actually look at for everyday life type of just kind of using all these sources for no reason.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, also it costs money, and like
No, it all costs money, especially these
any
fucking F1 cars. These F1 cars are insane the amount of money.
any racing sport, it's fucking expensive, and a lot of these teams pay out of pocket, and it's like I don't know how you guys freaking do this. You know, they rely heavily on their sponsorships and winnings. So it gets competitive, and you're going to see a lot of teams leave, and you're going to see a lot of teams come in, and you're going to see, but
But I mean, how many new teams are coming in the next few years?
well, you're not going to see any new teams until 2026 when they have the new engine regulations. Um, we'll still
So,
have
I was gonna say, I was like, why wait till then? I'm like, well, they're working on the technology
yeah,
probably at this point.
yeah,
It'll be ready to be able to use in
yeah.
2020.
And honestly, and it's going to be so worth the wait. I can't wait to see what Ford can put up, and because
Ford's gonna put some torque in that goddamn F1. America just
yeah,
fucking flying down the goddamn course. The cars are gonna sound more angry than like than fast.
hell yeah.
So Kay asked a little bit ago when I brought up the Halo, and we actually looked it up, and it honestly wasn't until just recently
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
just started using them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought this was
It was like
something
20.
that was manufactured and put into place, like, by 2010, 2012.
No,
Hell no, that shit
2018.
yeah.
Yeah, they
What I'm
had
saying.
no. But I mean, that was not something that they ever thought about or whatever. And then it was the big thing that we're not going to be able to see the road, and this is going to be you're going to have a big old bar in there, and then life save after life save after life save after life save with the cars going upside down or landing on their fucking head. I mean, Joe on you last season, holy shit,
Yeah.
that Halo wasn't there, he'd be dead.
Yeah.
He would get decapitated.
Well, I
Just
mean, before the Halo was there, like, let's be real, there were a lot of deaths
yes.
that happened during F1's history
I mean,
that,
it's
if you look at it, could have been avoided with this piece of technology.
exactly. I mean, Hamilton's life was saved by the goddamn Halo. 2 years ago.
Like, it's pretty wild.
Yeah,
To think it was
it's so
how
funny
do
how
you not like, let's be real, how do you not think of this? After seeing what
well, no,
happens,
no, I know, but at the same time, the biggest thing was it was an obstruction of view, and that's why they didn't think about it. They didn't think about to put something on there like that. I mean, they reinforced the chassis and everything as much as they could without sacrificing weight, and speed. But those V10s were, and then they went down to the V6s and
Ma- Maverick says staying with Dale Earnhardt's neck would have been saved had if they had the Hans device or the Halo device installed in NASCAR.
well, NASCAR they didn't have. It wasn't so much of a halo device, but it was more of a locking mechanism that locked their head into place. That
Yeah.
so fucking wouldn't move.
Yeah.
You know. Um, but again, that I mean, in NASCAR is much more of a rough and tumble kind of.
It's more okay to bump and move into
Well, you have a hell of a lot more protection in a fucking NASCAR than you do. It's open wheel,
F1.
and like your wheels are exposed. Like anything hits those wheels or curb or whatever, and you've seen it. car's fucked. Like, you know, that little piece of carbon fiber on the suspension and all that, like that stuff just, you seen that half
Mav,
away.
Mav says they drive tanks at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, really though. Really. Uh-huh.
It is, I mean, definitely good. But yeah, when you look at F1, it really, I mean, I guess.
The amount of finesse that you need in F1, rather than just being able to, like,
Well,
you know,
because it's more of a circuit. It's more turns, and it's not just going around in a
well, I mean,
circle. There's
NASCAR,
more of a challenge
I
to it.
know, but like NASCAR is starting to get into the whole, road, and not just the ovals. You're starting to see a lot more circuit type races in NASCAR.
I
It's
feel
a
like that's better. That's more entertaining to
it
me.
is. It's a complete jumble fuck, and I mean, you go to NASCAR to see the crashes anyway, so
I,
like, why not? Like, like,
like I think the circuit style racing is the most entertaining because it has the most action.
yeah.
Going in a circle is like,
Yeah. I mean, and just like it's straight up like plowing people out of the way. Like,
yeah, it's just
put it on. That's what I said.
you're
You start,
tailing somebody until you
yeah,
can shit whip around them, and then you bump them into the fucking wall and move forward like
yeah,
that.
you
Like
know,
some NASCAR fans are gonna be like, no, 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 there's more to NASCAR than that. Please tell me, enlighten me. I really want to know. I'm not saying it
you know, you,
sarcastically either. I would really like to know.
it's
What
just
is more
drafting and
challenging
rubbing.
about NASCAR than F1? I
That's
really would like to know.
that's what they call it, drafting and rubbing. I don't know what they're rubbing, but
Rubbing each other into the wall. And probably some other things too.
Phrasing.
yeah,
Exactly.
thanks.
So Maverick says he likes the F1 style because of the turns and stuff. Makes
Yeah,
hitting high speeds extremely fast, going through those corners, and
you're pulling G's. It's not
yeah.
just the car's practically on fucking rails. If you've ever seen you ever notice how when they do the onboards and they have the camera on top and you can see the tires, like they have so much downforce that most road car tires turn with each other, right? They both go the same direction. These F1 cars, you only have a slight, and then you have this weird ass angle on this outside tire, and like just the sheer downforce of the car moves it. Just it literally takes the whole car and just whips it around.
Yeah.
So I mean,
It's
it's a
like I said,
completely different drive.
you actually described it like a little while ago when you talk about go over there, go. When you talk about the best drivers in the world,
Yeah,
these literally are. I mean, some of them we can sit here and question whether or not they should be in the top 20 in the grid, but nonetheless, these 20 drivers are considered the best 20 drivers in the entire world.
yeah.
The racing is in every single part of the world, different countries,
It's,
everything else like that.
it's just
Racers coming from
it's just
every single which
bougie as
way.
fuck, man. It's a fucking money bleeding sport. Holy shit. God damn.
It's it's almost like a little too
We're,
snobbish
I mean,
to be an F1 driver.
they do what they can. They do what they can.
But I mean, but in all fairness, there's nobody else in the world that can do what these drivers do.
Not at 200 miles an hour
No.
on a 30-degree fucking turn, 60-degree turn on a chicane going 140 miles an hour over it. Like,
Yeah.
that shit is nuts.
The reflexes,
Just
core
the
strength,
focus.
the
Just the focus that they have to put their freaking minds through for 2 hours while they go around this track top speed. That shit is nuts. Just driving on the limit the entire time.
while also communicating with dudes in your ear, some of which are giving you stupid advice, Leclerc and Ferrari.
Just
Just fucking off
you
your
didn't.
focus.
Honestly, at this point, you didn't even have to say it. Everybody would have just known.
Just fucking off the focus real
Yeah.
bad because of
Yeah.
that shit.
It's not even. It's just like, oh, Hamilton's coming out of the pits or going in for the pit or whatever, and here's Hamilton right behind you. He's coming on you on your on your left side or whatever, and
I was about to say, yeah, phrasing.
he had
Let's
already been
try and say
passed.
that one.
Leclerc's like, well, thanks, like a little late. What the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, it's. Oh, and by the way, since the last time we talked, I've seen everything there is to see when it comes to rumors in Formula One after fucking 2 weeks of racing. I cannot believe the amount of TMZ style national inquiry
Yeah,
shit
man.
that these motherfuckers come up with. It's
It's all
wild to
clickbait.
me.
It's all clickbait, man. Like, just click
I'm
on my
just looking
video.
at it going like, these people believe this shit. Like, this is actually something that we're all, witnessing. Like, this is actually going on.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, just that clickbait shit. I'm gonna be honest with you. That clickbait shit gets pretty fucking annoying.
Yeah. So I don't even acknowledge it anymore. It's just
Ladies and gentlemen, 610 Beast from the Southeast.
dry. Is
Mr. Country
daylight over
K.
there? What's going on?
Yeah, it's still daylight. The sun's trying to come back out through the clouds out here. Um, yeah, my bad guys. I real deal forgot the time. I remember today was Wednesday and we had a show. I just forgot the goddamn time. Last time I looked, when you set the thing, it was 6:30. I was like, all right, cool. Ran into Michaels and in the food banks,
Appreciate you,
and
Stava. What's up, Stavs?
yeah,
Look at him. Look.
shit. What's
He
up,
says,
man?
"Oh my God, I love you."
But yeah, no, I gotta make a cake for my teammate. It's his daughter's birthday tomorrow, so making her a unicorn cake. So I
Oh
was just
shit!
making sure I get all the items and shit like that I need to,
Got it.
Hey,
Hey,
if
man.
you guys
Mhm.
get a chance, you guys need to go onto your Twitter and look at Ford Performance, and
Why? What's going on there?
they've got Checo and Max and a Ford powered Red Bull.
Just driving around.
Yeah, and
shit.
they're rally style cars, but I'm
Alright.
excited. I'm excited.
We gotta wait 3 years, but that's fine, I guess. I guess we gotta do it. Let's see, what do we got? So they're in Australia, they're in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Looking at it now, Max is up 1 point.
Mhm.
Obviously, that a lot of clickbait shit. Go over there. Go over there. Go, 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 go.
Yeah, but they're at their throats, and
The amount of clickbait shit that I've seen about this little rivalry, quote unquote, has been pretty. I'm not gonna lie, some of it's pretty entertaining.
yeah,
Like
absolutely.
it's funny because it's
It's funny
stupid.
to put words in other people's mouths, and it's just like absolutely furious. He might leave Red Bull, and you got Check over here. It's just like, I really just wanted better communication for my team. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that's all I wanted.
So we got Max, Checo, Alonso still in third. What was your prediction for this one?
For
You said
Australia,
Max again?
for Australia,
Yeah.
Nobody there, they all
honestly,
One more time?
I'm
complete enough.
honestly, I really want to see Checo win again.
You want to see Checo win again?
I do.
So is that your pick?
No. I still pick Max Verstappen, but only because he DNF'd here last year, so I would hope that he can turn it around. And who knows, man?
What if every time you call the DNF, he gets podium, but every time you call podium, he gets DNF?
I would love that, honestly.
You would love that?
Yeah, because then Checo would win the season.
You just predict whatever it is that you want.
Yeah. Just have to treat every day like opposite day.
How much does Lewis Hamilton have left?
Yo, hold on. I'm reading these comments.
What does he have? What is Gustavo doing here?
It's Maverick.
Oh. In the private. You should see what they believe about wrestling. Yeah, no,
That wasn't me.
Yes.
Gustavo. Big shout out to Gustavo.
You should definitely see what they say. Oh, yeah. No, I've seen the shit about wrestling. Trust me on that one. The wrestling community is a toxic motherfucker. Oh, it's pretty wild. It's the wild, wild west in the wrestling community, bro. You don't even know. You thought Twitter was toxic? Oh,
Twitter, wrestling Twitter alone. If it's a female wrestler, oh, it's even worse. Legit.
Honestly, I feel so bad for them. Like
it's bad. It's so bad. Let's see. So, do you have Fernando Alonso winning a race at all this year?
Only if both Red Bulls get DNF'd.
If both of them DNF'd?
Yeah, that's the only way.
Red Bull's just that far ahead of everybody, right?
Yeah. They really are. I mean, when it comes to, engine pace, aerodynamics, it's literally just the complete package. And again, they're having reliability issues, but you know what? Like, who gives a fuck? They're winning. Wrestling is real. Of course it is. The moves are real. The scripts are fake.
Yeah. We all know that. Everybody knows that. We don't need to have that discussion. You either find it entertaining or you don't. Don't make the other argument. That's all it is. If you just personally don't like it, leave it that way. That's fine. Ain't these motherfuckers, wrestling's fake, right? Go fucking suck a dick. He said this
about his mama. He wrote that.
Suck a dick.
That morning. He memorized that. He practiced in the mirror.
Is he back? Is he in here? Yep, there he goes. Back in. Some lies. So the entire grid is banking on Red Bull DNFing.
Yeah. If anybody else wants to see a race win this year, it would have to be from double DNF out of Red Bull. What is going on? Dang, K, you're live.
I thought it was messed up on my end.
Nope.
Something happened with his phone.
Well,
congrats to Red Bull if they do win.
You might as well just say it's okay. It's okay. They gonna win no matter what.
Shit.
They're just too damn fast, man. That's crazy.
Shit. You got to keep up with the Monaco fucking what you selling.
Yeah.
To get some good fucking goddamn technicians and people like that. Shit.
Where did he go? Did his phone die on
I
stream?
think so.
Did
Yeah,
his
his
phone die?
phone died definitely.
Holy, my wife called, so it turned my thing to shit.
Boy.
Turned everything to shit.
My
Sorry.
second guess.
Yeah. Well, I don't boo my wife. she didn't know.
It's Wednesday. What? I'm just kidding.
But so who your legitimate podium picks? Go.
I got Max, Checo, and then I have
Say it. You can go with your heart on this one if you want to. It's the third.
fuck it. I want to see Lewis on podium, man.
Man, you had such a complete change of heart with Lewis Hamilton.
Honestly, it was just last year, like, and how sorry I felt for him. Just like the amount of torture that Mercedes put him through. My gosh.
Makes you feel bad for the guy.
And he's still with them. Like, yeah, you just you got to feel bad for the guy.
So you want Lewis Hamilton on podium this week?
Yeah.
At 3. Okay. I'm sure Lewis will take that because so far that we've noticed on this show, anything that comes out of this show apparently just comes true, and we never get the credit for it.
What are you talking about?
Oh, bro, you don't even know. You don't even know.
No way.
You don't even know the amount of shit these
I'll give you a
assholes
piece
at
of
ESPN are getting away with. You have no idea how much these assholes are getting away with by taking our stuff and talking about it on their platform without giving us any fucking credit at all.
I don't know what's going on.
He
So
has
I'll
it
give
as
you a
a
piece
single
of it
thing right
because
now. Don't worry
your
about it.
team.
You're still here.
I'm so confused.
So yeah, I'll give you a piece of it since it's your team. So I said that I think that the Colts should trade that 4th pick to get Lamar Jackson.
We don't want him. No.
Why not? Why wouldn't you want Lamar Jackson?
That's our best hope right now.
No.
You know what, Sunshine? You haven't watched nearly enough football to understand what the fuck you're talking about right now.
I was in the fantasy league last year. I spent too much time watching football.
What do you mean too much time? You can't watch football, man. You live in Texas. That's blasphemy. What's wrong with you?
Not blasphemy.
Not blasphemy. High treasonous type of talk.
Nah.
Not liking football. Not watching football.
That's attempted murder.
Exactly.
That's not.
Damn here.
I mean, or saying they like the Sooners game.
Maybe on me if they found out. But again, as long as you're not a Sooners fan,
I think we're good.
nobody really cares.
Yeah. You
Whoa.
reveal you're a Sooners fan, you get
And
trashed.
or if you're not a Cowboys fan, which is like most of Texas anyways, and everybody just shits on Cowboys fans, it's hilarious, man. They just go
Really,
through
Texas doesn't have as many
they
Cowboys fans
literally
as they think,
go
huh?
through all stages of grief every time they watch the Cowboys play. It's hilarious to actually see it in person. Just the happiness and the sorrow, the denial, the hope, all that. The anger.
That's the Cowboys for you, man.
It's hilarious.
It's actually sad. But...
It's not sad. It's hilarious. They gotta sit there and brand themselves the America's team. Like none of the other teams are in America. Get the hell out of here.
I feel like they're America's most hated team. But
At this point,
that might be.
At this point, most people just associate Cowboys fans with SpongeBob memes now.
I'm out of here. Done. Well, Sunshine, you've given us your 3. Melbourne, it says 10 p.m. So 10 p.m. for me is what?
Midnight for me, man. It's on Australia, so it's gonna be a midnight race.
So are you staying up to watch?
Yeah. What do
You're
you
gonna
mean?
stay up to watch.
What do you mean?
You're gonna be like this.
Hell no.
You are. Maybe
That might be
alcohol.
Corey. But not me.
Might be quick, but you're gonna stay up.
Yeah, I'll be up.
I gotta stay up till 10 p.m. or from 10 to. That's fine. 10 o'clock's not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. And if the race goes to plan, it actually gets done sometimes before the 2 hour mark.
Yeah, maybe. Unless if there's no safety cars or anything like that, then yeah. But other than that,
Who's gonna crash?
who's gonna crash? Ooh, I got what's it called? Oh, I'm looking at him right now. Who do I think is gonna crash?
I think Ocon is gonna get penalized twice again.
No.
And looking at it, I'm gonna say Lando's the one who shunts.
Do you think Lando? I think it's Lance Stroll.
Lance Stroll, I guess it's. You wish so much bad on that guy.
No. I think just
No, never. No, never. It's just the only reason why he's there is because his dad. That's fine.
oh, there it is. It's either turn 13 and 14, or I think it's 13 and 14.
13 to 14.
Those two turns.
You're saying he's gonna crash at either 13 or 14?
Mm-hmm.
Lance Stroll on either turn 13 or turn 14.
He puts it in the
Okay.
wall.
Since we're fucking going up that deep, what lap?
Lap? No.
What lap does he do it? It's gonna be at turn 13 or 14, but what lap? Does he do it early? Is it late? Right in the middle?
We'll probably go. He might do it late. I think it's going to be a late safety car. It's going to pull the whole goddamn field back together. And then Max and Checo are going to go racing, and it's going to end like that. And Hamilton is going to get the jump on whoever, and he's going to get on the podium. Because Ferrari will find a way to fuck it up. They always do.
Ferrari will find somehow, some way
to fuck it up. So
I mean,
that's my prediction. But I gotta cook dinner, man. It's late.
I know, man. I was trying to get your last things before, but sunshine, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk to them again next week.
See y'all.
See you later. Yep, little brother. And then where the hell did Cade go? What? All right, well, I guess while we're waiting him to come back in, we'll get this message from our friends over at Raise Energy. Hit it, man. What's up, Jaffo Army? JP here of the All Pro Jaffos, bringing you a message from our proud partners over at Raise Energy. Raise Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring the consumer a powerful yet sustained energetic experience to help us put your workouts and focus in general to the very next level. Perfect for anyone at any time. Raise Energy has become the most popular, the best rated energy drink on the market to date, with a phenomenal flavor profile that puts most of the competitors just downright to shame. Powered by the enhanced refresh technology, Raise Energy delivers with a performance-enhancing energy drink profile that aids in the most often overlooked categories, which include targeted focus, enhanced recovery time, as glycogen becomes depleted, improve clean energy levels, boost in stamina, and in hydration. Most importantly, each can of Raise has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. You should not have to drink or settle for any other energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, opt for the smart choice with the #1 fan-voted energy drink on the planet with Raise Energy Drink. Use the promo code ALPHARAISE at checkout to get 15% off of your order. Demand more. Join the Raise Rebellion. Let them know the JAFFOs sent you. I don't know what the hell happened with Kay. But apparently he backed out the same time Sunshine did. I don't know why. Oh, there he goes. Oh,
Did you scare him off?
God damn. No, he's there. He's right
Okay.
there with that shit head.
Phone died.
Phone died.
Yeah, as I was looking for my charger, yeah.
All good. All good. Okay. So, A7FL.
Mm-hmm.
Right. How much of it did you see before? I know you had to leave after we did our own little commentary thing with the BIC versus the Renegades. How much of it did you see? Did you see mostly highlights and stuff after that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I like stuck with him the whole time. I was watching pretty much every game that I could. Trying to soak in as much as I possibly could. And I gotta say, man, the game that we did, or the game that we saw, together, the Renegades and the BIC. You and I obviously with talking with both Big Rob and Corey and Matt, and keeping up with it, how we've been keeping up with it. The BIC are obviously the favorites to win the championship again. And the Renegades, I'm not gonna lie to you, but they surprised me. The defense kind of surprised me. It's just in the beginning, the connection with CP and the rest of his, receiver, it just wasn't there in the beginning. You and I were looking at it going like, it just something about like the chemistry, it seemed fucked up at that point. Like he just wasn't hitting anybody. Starting off the game, getting later on, yeah, everything started to click, but early on in the game, I feel like there were a few opportunities, especially that one that he overthrew Megatron. That one literally could have been the difference of the game, with it ending 27-20. And the fact that Ashanti Worthy, in my opinion, player of the game, probably player of the week, taking the first 2 throw-offs back to start the season and just again go over there and just again doing it. We were looking at it going like, this guy's just, he's unreal. And the Renegades at the end made it a game to the point where we started to think, well, you saw the top 10 that they put out. You came in late, but I watched it again, and they had the Renegades at 11. They had them just outside the top 10. after this game, if we were to make a top 10, would the Renegades get bumped up? From 11, do they get bumped up into the top 10 even though they lost to the BIC? It's close.
I would have to watch the rest of the games. That's first. And I mean, honestly, I still think that quarterback can't throw, bro. But I don't think he's a quarterback. I think, you know what I mean? I think that he filling in. I don't think that's his position. So
I think a lot of people are going to have a lot to say about that one because from my research, one of the more decorated guys
yeah, my man was
in the league. But it just, I can understand what you're saying, though. It just seemed off. We call it, first game jitters, whatever it is that you want to call it or whatever. It just seemed off. Too antsy, whatever you want to call it, just wasn't making the connections that could have honestly turned the game around. I can honestly go back and look at it and understand that the Renegades had 3 or 4 opportunities to take the lead, to actually get ahead. This game could have looked completely different because Ashanti Worthy, yes, was killing them, but they were kind of keeping Sterry in check. And we're talking about the MVP of the league last year. They were putting the hits on him. I think he took 2 really big hits on the first 2 extra points from, Worthy's returns. He took some really big shots that you or me were looking at him like, he's hurt. Like, it's visibly like he was feeling it. But, like I said, they were keeping him relatively in check. But like you said, it's just the early on quarterback play with certain situations that happened that weren't able to capitalize on it. It just cost the Renegades that. But you take those out of this, and I think they put up a valiant effort all the way to the end. To where, if you were asking me, I'd put them in the top 10 because the BIC are the number 1 team, and they took them to task. The number 1 team they took to task. So I'm not going to say top 5. That would be crazy, and I think Rob would lose his shit and throw his fucking computer at me if he could. I'm not going to say the top 5. But I'd maybe put him 8 or 9.
No, I ain't gonna say that.
I'd put him in the 8 or 9.
That's too big a reaction.
The defense impressed me, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I liked the way their defense played.
That wasn't enough.
Like I said, there was minus some situations on offense that could have made the game go very differently. And you and me would be if the offense would have clicked like they did in the second half, in the first half, like all the way through, we'd be talking about the Renegades being a top 5 team in the league and possibly better because they would have beaten the BIC. The defense was good enough most of the games. It's just the offense didn't capitalize. That's why I gave them 8 at best, most likely putting them at 9.
And that's why I say the full reason why I don't move them at all is because they can't score. That's it. That's full reason why they can't score. You can't. The only reason why their offense moved in the second half is because they basically ran, like I said, a Steelers-based offense when Big Ben was there. All shorts, all slants, nice little short routes, 5 and 7 yard routes. That's really pretty much what's going on. Nice little yak. And when he threw that ball, first off, if you're going to have a name like Megatron, bro, you're going to have to pull something down. You pulled absolutely nothing down to be able
to. He had like 4 drops that we were like, and me personally, he's supposed to be the quote unquote tight end position in the A7FL. The drops that he had, I'm like, oh my God, you just can't.
I'm like, buddy threw that.
Those are game changers. Those I wouldn't even put on the quarterback. Those are on him.
Buddy
Those
threw
are
that.
definitely on him.
Buddy threw that motherfucker over 7 yards, and that's what you did to him? That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm so upset with you.
But so I mean,
running back though, number 23, he nice. He nice for real.
Yeah.
He plays safety too. He nice. He nice for real. He real deal nice. He nice. He nice. I like him. But the Renegades,
me.
That's the reason why they 11. To be real with it.
Me with the behind the back. When
That
he
man
did that, I was like, oh my God.
That's 4 reasons why they outside the top 10. This man had the audacity to throw a pass behind the back, bro. For a
And connected. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it was a touchdown.
Oh, it was a touchdown. That's right, because it was a regular. That was for a TD, bro. Like
that one was for an extra point. He just did that on an extra point, just fucking around.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like either way, a touchdown, extra point, bro. Come on, dog. You know what I mean?
They had a lot going on. They had the Vegas Hunters and the Gold Hunters handled it pretty easily. They're 34-19. The Sin City Chaos, and when we say Sin City, I know you're gonna think Vegas, but Sin is spelled C-I-N for Cincinnati. So, and then Olentangy. This is Ohio. This is in Columbus, Ohio. These are the Olentangy volcanoes. And the Chaos handled them 50-6.
Did you watch that game?
I saw bits and pieces of that game.
Bro, did you see the 40? I think it was the 44th point or the 42nd point. Did you see that one?
By the 42nd point, I'm probably already checked out watching the other games.
Bro, the quarterback did like top 10 or top 5 we put out.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 basically was the same play that the 42nd touchdown was. The 44th or whatever.
For breaking the tackles.
Bro, he broke like 4 tackles, ran a dude over. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. Because I looked at like I said, I checked highlights and shit, and I went back to that one. I'm like, oh shit, let me check some Ohio. They was beating the holy shit out them boys. I was like, yo, no, this not like this. Not opening week. You can't go out 50 burger on you. The first week, that's depressing. Like going into a season.
At least they didn't get skunked.
Bro, I feel you. Actually, no, I think that was the other team. No, the other team scored with a receiver scoring. Their receiver scored or some shit like that.
No. And then we had
I think it was a kickoff or he like broke or some shit like that. I think I remember seeing
a few of those. There was quite a bit of throw off returns.
That shit was crazy
this week.
It was a pretty good first week. But continue on, my bad. Go ahead.
The Baltimore Watchmen, which is essentially the Baltimore super team, played the DC Buzz 34-7. Kind of everything that everyone expected. You know, Watchmen being the official, unofficial type. They're the number 2 team overall in the A7FL, I guess, showing it because the Buzz were looked at pretty high too in that top 10 as well, and getting beat 34-7. I think that's going to get looked at to the guys over on the 3-on-1 podcast. That's going to look like a knock you out of the top 10 type of loss.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's a little rough. There, buddy.
That one's bad. The Las Vegas Insomniacs versus the Sick with It. That was actually a good game. In our top 5 plays of the week, Trey Robinson had a return touchdown. You know, basically, I think it was the point that got him, it was like 30, like 32 or something like that. But he got down, looked at the Sickwit at sideline, and gave him the keep your mouth shut, style thing while doing a backflip after scoring 42-39. It was a close game. Sickwit, I think, is a good team too. The Insomniacs, I think they're just, I think people looked at the Insomniacs as like, yeah, they knew they were going to be good teams, but I don't think they realized the Sickwit were going to keep up with the Insomniacs the way they did.
Well,
So
I
I
mean,
think,
remember when they were talking, they were saying basically the Vegas team was the Vegas Insomniacs was pretty much supposed to be their super team.
yeah,
So,
and
yeah.
kept up with them. So I think that's going to be looked at, and definitely kind of been okay. Maybe Sickwit has something over there that they just haven't been seeing.
Weren't they in the top 10 as well?
Sickwit, I don't think so. I don't think they were. I don't think they were even they weren't even mentioned in the 12 spot either. But I don't think the guys knew enough about them, because there were a lot of teams that they kind of kept a tight lip on a lot of what they were doing. So
What
when the guys made their top 10 list, it was based off of the information that they knew. So Sick with It, I think, is definitely going to be looked at by them like, okay, maybe these guys are actually for real.
What if that's E40's team? That'd be hilarious.
That'd be funny. That would be hilarious.
Oh,
What was hilarious was the pit boss's fucking disgusting attempt at a game. Getting the shit pushed in for them by the Vegas Force. Whoever, especially on the Vegas side, the Force is the top team there in Vegas. And the pit bosses were at one point looked at, especially during the fall brawl, were looked at one of the teams that, oh, okay, this team might do something. Well, roster changes and stuff like that happened, and the Force went and just dominated the pit bosses.
Yeah, pit bosses, top
So
guys.
that was just, it was bad. It was. You hear the score 52-12. It was worse than what it sounds. If that makes any sense. Speaking of another hilarious play happening, the Patterson U took on the Snow Tribe, and we had Corey on Friday. Basically damning to hell the Rahway Snow Tribe for cutting him a week before the season. And you wish so many bad things upon this team, and that's exactly what happened. And
Emotional, damn it.
I'm exactly that.
Yeah, I was gonna say number well wishes, honestly.
Patterson, you put an ass whooping on the Snow Tribe, 41-12.
Losers, in other words.
Yes. 41-12, and what we now call they put it on their thing. They said the play that is now known as the point. Not gonna lie, man. I feel like I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I love these guys.
No,
I'm not gonna say it.
no.
There was a play for an extra point. Dude slipped two guys twice. Both of them. He slipped them once, then he came back, ducked them both, turned around. Both of them fell. And when they did that, when he came up, he literally pointed at the man. If you want to see it, go check out on YouTube the A7FL top 5 plays of the week. It's the number 1 play of the week. Dude points and laughs, turns around, breaks another tackle, proceeds to stiff arm another, and then hurdle the last guy into the end zone. And again, this is an extra point. This isn't for a touchdown. If this was for a touchdown, that would have been the greatest touchdown I've ever seen. This is probably the greatest extra point I've ever seen. because that shit had me dying when it happened. Had me 100% dying when it happened, and I know Corey was looking at that with the biggest fucking smile on his face. The biggest smile on his face, ear to fucking ear. Go. Ear to ear going, yep, now you got the point happened to the team that cut me. Haha. That's exactly what's going on in the mind of Corey Hammond right now. I can guarantee it. Let's see. Then after that, well, the snow trap. What I'm trying to understand is, you know what? Okay. Did you happen to see the Omegas versus the Silk City Animals?
I didn't watch the game, but it was one-sided.
That's putting it lightly. We support our friend Corey Hammond. 100%. We support him in anything that he does. But this game against Quattro Huffin and the Silk City Animals, yikes. Corey and the Omegas took an ass whooping 52-6. To be fair to them, they only had 8 guys. So literally every player except for Corey, and I think maybe one other guy. No, and I think it's only Corey because he was the quarterback. But even he came in and played defense at one point, which if you were with us on the last show, we talked about it going, oh yeah, Corey and Huff should play Iron Man against each other. And Kay said, don't you wish that upon this man. He said, don't do that.
Don't wish that devil on him, Ricky Bobby.
So don't wish that devil. And
you wished it right upon him. And that shit was not fucking fair. That was not fair. Friday is going to be an amazing show. Stay tuned, folks. Corey Hammond's coming in with fire and brimstone because he's blaming you.
Well, he might blame me, but we also have a pretty decent surprise coming on Friday. I will go through that. Go over there. Once we are done with all of this, but Covington Heist 33-12. The Kryptonite 58-34 over the top. Yeah, I mean, look, this season has started off extremely fast, and there are a lot of teams that might have surprised the shit out of the guys over there at the 3-on-1 podcast. And looking at this, I mean, I'm still going to keep the BIC at number 1. I'll keep the Watchmen at 2. Patterson U, I'll keep it 3. The Force, I'll put at 4. Force at 4, Insomniacs at 5. Silk City Animals at 6. Kryptonite at 7. Heist at 8. stick with it at 9 and the Renegades at 10. You know what? Actually, no. I'll actually give
Did any of the Ohio teams?
Sick with it's gonna hate me for this, but I'm gonna take Sick with it out and put in the Chaos because of the Chaos put a 50 burger to 6 on the Volcano. So I'm gonna actually give them a little bit of respect. Put them at 9 and keep the Renegades at 10. Sick with it just out at 11.
Hold on, the team that had a 40+ point deficit is at 9. All right,
The Chaos? Yes.
how?
Just basically strength of schedule of the opponent. That's how I look at it.
Okay, when you watch, how many Ohio games did you watch on Sunday?
That was, I think, the only Ohio game, wasn't it?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Yeah, that was no, the Heist and the Crush. I didn't see the Heist and the Crush. So should I put them over the Heist?
I mean, the point differential alone.
That's fair.
I mean, if you ain't really see the other team, I mean, you know what I mean? Like if you ain't really watch the other team, and the only thing you have is the highlights and the points that you did get. Excuse me. Yeah, like.
Well, all right. Well,
And also, did you
that's fair.
see any of the Florida games?
The Florida game. I don't think any of the Florida teams played. No, all of them were in Vegas. Actually, no. Yep, no, all of them were in Vegas. The Florida games are actually taking place this weekend. They start this weekend. The Orlando Ghosts take on the Nightcrawlers. And then, let's see. I think that's the only one in Florida. Yep, that's the only one in Florida. The Nightcrawlers versus the Ghosts this weekend.
Oh no, we're doing a week-to-week depth chart ranking. I mean, not
Well,
depth.
I kind of want to say like the predictions and stuff like that. Like I wanted to go over what happened during the weekend, and again, direct people to the YouTube video to check out the top 5 plays of the week. But I want to do like predictions and stuff like that this coming Friday because we are going to have the owner of the LA and Vegas divisions, Derek Duncan, on the show with us on Friday. Because I want to get to know. We know a lot about the East Coast teams. We know a ton about them. We know a ton about the BIC, Patterson U. You know the lineage of the team. It's all there. We know. We've seen them. But these Vegas teams and stuff like that, and the LA teams especially, we hadn't even seen any of the LA teams yet. We haven't seen the vibe out there. Let's see, we won't even see the vibe until. Yeah, I don't even think we see the vibe on here. Oh, the Los Angeles Aces versus the Santa Monica Vibe. That doesn't happen until 2 weeks from now. So we know essentially, and they weren't even, neither one of those teams were even mentioned once on the top 10 because there's so little to none known about that division that those two teams in LA. And from there, they don't play again. I don't see any other LA team again until the week after that, the Vibe versus the Hollywood Heroes.
That's
But
the game.
You know what I mean? There's not, and there's only 3 teams in LA: the Hollywood Heroes, the Aces have basically a 2-week bye before they play the Heroes.
Hold on, go through the names again.
The Hollywood Heroes, the Los Angeles Aces, and the Santa Monica Vibe.
All right. Ah, fuck. Santa Monica has a terrible name. It
You
doesn't
should see
fit.
the logo.
Oh. Do we have that?
I'm looking at it. I'm just
Can you share the screen or something so we can?
not from my phone to computer and everything.
Well, can you turn your phone to the computer?
Oh, okay. So you want me to actually full on?
Yeah, I want to see what you see.
Can you see that?
You got to go in a little bit.
How much?
Well, I mean, your camera ain't worth a damn.
This is the front camera.
I see it. I know. I see it. It's pretty ass.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
But
like,
it's like, nothing essentially about the LA teams.
that's my art school color. That's crazy.
So it's like I want to know more about the Vegas division, and I even told Derek that I'm kind of having big hopes for that division because I feel like that division, if they do well and if they perform and do well quickly, that it's going to set up the A7FL coming into Northern California a lot quicker and with a lot more confidence. So we're gonna have him on the show with us on Friday to talk A7FL Nevada and LA, and maybe even talk a little bit more about bringing it, here to Sacramento, Bay Area, and stuff like that of Northern California, because again, we have a lot of talent out here that I feel like would do well in this sort of league. Especially like we want to try and help Matt Ryan's dreams of having the Stockton Slaps become a team. We want to help you, Matt Ryan. We want to help you make that dream a reality. So again, we'll talk to Derek Duncan come Friday, then we'll talk about the matchups and everything else like that coming the weekend. A7FL starting off strong, a lot of really good plays. The calls were good. Corey had I mean, when we talked to him, stuff, he'll tell you, but it wasn't great. And again, he was only dealing with a team that only had, 9 guys essentially who had to make a 5-hour trip. And that day was the first time that Corey had met any of them. So yeah, the chemistry was definitely not going to be there, and it's very explainable on why they got, mopped this past weekend. XFL, let's see, what do we got? What do we got in the XFL? What happened in the XFL? Sea Dragons kicked the dog crap out of the Orlando Guardians. St. Louis just wax on and wax off, whoop the shit out of the Vegas Vipers. San Antonio got the win against Arlington. Hell yeah. And DC, I think we went over the DC beat Houston. You picked DC in this one, didn't you? I think you picked DC and I picked Houston.
yeah.
Thought Houston was going to try and make a comeback. And it was hard for you because you like Wade Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
But DC, man, that's a legit team. It's a legit team, 37-26.
Yeah, I told you they couldn't stop Ta'amu's running.
You did say that. Since we're probably not going to get to it on Friday, let's get to it now. The Sea Dragons versus the Orlando Guardians. Sea Dragons 37-26. Arlington Renegades next week. It's actually on Friday. Sea Dragons, I think, are at best top 3. At minimum top 3, actually. In the league. Okay, I think this one's easy for both of us when I say I think the Sea Dragons are the easy pick here.
I was processing everything you said afterwards. Who were they playing again?
Sea Dragons versus the Renegades, the Arlington Renegades.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'll go Sea Dragons because I think I picked Arlington last week. Yeah, whatever.
San Antonio versus the Vipers.
San Antonio.
Yeah, I think so too because Vegas just stinks.
Mm-hmm.
The only team worse is Orlando, which they are playing the DC Defenders.
Well, we know what's about to happen there.
Oh, can we predict the final score?
I mean, I feel like you want to. You got so happy to do this right now.
65-12, and the 12 is for garbage points.
Christ. Jesus Christ.
65-12.
Jesus Christ. That's a lot of points.
One of them is going to be a touchdown because it's going to be a garbage point. 6 of those points are going to be field goals.
That's a heavy point differential, fam. That's heavy. You come out of that game.
Is it out of the order? You tell me, what about Orlando doesn't scream ass to the point where I wouldn't think that the undefeated DC Defenders wouldn't just dog walk these dudes, probably to the point where they won't even be an XFL fucking team next year. They might not even make it. They got the souls ripped out of them so bad.
First off, they undefeated, but DC ain't putting up no 50 points like that on a regular twin. You can just have a 50-point differential.
Well, they've been putting up 35 plus against really good teams. They put up 37 against the Houston Roughnecks team, who has, again, arguably the best defense next to DC, obviously, because they're the best team in the league at the moment. That's what I'm saying. If they're putting up that many points on good, legit teams, they're gonna fucking sandbag the Guardians.
Nah, I ain't gonna do it like that. They gonna beat them, but I ain't gonna do it like that. Not no 50 points. That's crazy.
Oh, I'm not saying 50. I'm saying 65. I'm saying the big the 8x8 cheese, the 8x8 burger you get at In-N-Out, like that, or the 6x6 we'll call it. That's what I'm talking about. You get a 6x6 fucking burger.
Yeah, but you said
with extra cheese. That's your 5.
65-12 is a 50-point differential. That's crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy. I don't think that's gonna go down. I think they're gonna beat them boys. But I don't think they're gonna beat them like that. That's crazy. That'll be XFL history.
Then if not 65-12, 52-6. It's less than a 50-point differential, but it's still a fucking major ass whooping.
I don't think DC just gonna score 50 points. That's what
I do. I think Orlando sucks that bad.
Orlando ain't just getting railroad.
Bro, this is a peewee football team compared to DC.
They losing, but they not losing because of their defense. I can tell you that. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, I don't think they're gonna put up that. Like, they gonna beat them. They just ain't gonna. They can't score. Like, that's Orlando's problem. I actually watched them. They can't score. Their defense is decent. They can't score for shit.
Okay, fine. If not 52-6. 48-3. That's still not good enough? No? Okay.
I ain't saying all. I'm like, look, you still going off of the fact of their bad team as a whole.
42-3. How about that?
Look,
Is that
man,
more realistic?
I seriously don't think DC scoring that many points. Like,
I think they can, because if they can put 37 up against Houston, I think they can put 40, 50, possibly 60 plus up on Orlando.
if you've been watching Houston been crumbling a lot lately.
It's besides the point. They're much better defense than Orlando is.
I don't know.
Much better defense than Orlando is.
I don't know. I seen them boys. I don't know, man. I don't know.
The only team worse than the Guardians are the Vipers at 1-5, and everybody else is either 500 or above, or like decent teams. The Vipers and the Guardians are both ass, and the Guardians are ass enough.
Yeah.
To the point where, bro, honestly, dude, I think the DC defenders, like, I really want to go with my original say. I really like the 65-12.
I mean, you can stick with it.
Alright.
Stick with it.
I'm just gonna stick with it.
Yeah, go ahead.
65-12, and I still feel like that's being generous, because I might be giving the Guardians too many points.
Hey, for offense, yeah, you definitely are. But like I said, defensively, I really feel like you disrespecting them a lot, because it's a lot of teams that have good defense and can't score for shit. Ain't like you just gonna put up that many points.
I don't think this team has a good defense. I think this team is overall ass, bro. I think they're shit. The best thing about them is their offense. Actually, the best thing about them is their tight end, Cody Latimer. That's it. That is the only player on that team that's worth a shit.
Their defense better than theirs. They can't score for shit. They can't move the ball. None of that. Like, they can't do it. Like, that's just not what it is. I'm telling you, their defense is that's it. That's their strong suit, the defense.
If that's their strong suit, then yeah, 65-12 is the final score.
All right.
But I think we're both going for, we're both saying DC's definitely winning this game. Yeah. That's end point what it is. St. Louis Battlehawks versus the Houston Roughnecks in Houston. They're both 4-2. I think it's gonna be a good game.
Houston. Yeah.
Bounce back finally?
This one not hard, yeah. This one not hard. Houston's gonna beat them boys probably 14 point difference.
Really?
Yeah. This ain't that hard. The way they lost.
St. Louis is a little bit better than that, but I mean, 14 points, bro?
Yeah, the way they lost the last 2 weeks. Yeah.
It's like revenge style. We're running up the score style type shit.
I mean, that, and you could tell, like, Coach Phillips ain't fucking going out like that, bro. I mean,
you're not about to lose out. Fuck that.
You ain't going out like that, dog. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get your team. You know what I mean? Snap back, figure it out.
You're at home.
Let's play better.
I mean, if you're going to go with I think you and I have been in pretty much agreement all the way up until this point. So I think if we're going to be different in this pick, I think I'll go with this one. I'll pick St. Louis because I think they played really well. And even in their loss to the Sea Dragons, they played well. So I think the Battlehawks are a little bit better than I think people are actually realizing. And they're that team that could sneak up on you if you're not really watching. So I'll go with Seattle, or not Seattle, with St. Louis. You go with Houston. We'll go with that.
Sure.
Perfect. That works, man. All right. So we've got the show again on Friday with Derek Duncan, and maybe we can get Corey Hammond in there somewhere. if we get Corey in there with the whole, I'm just gonna let you know now. If you guys come and watch the show on Friday, and both Derek Duncan and Corey Hammond are on the show, we're probably not talking about anything else other than A7FL that day. Just want to let you know that. It's probably going to go past the hour and a half point because Corey himself can talk for an hour and a half or more. It's just, there's a lot of information that's going to be passed and forth between those two if, that indeed is how it goes down. So just know, if you see both Corey Hammond and Derek Duncan on this show, that's all we're going to be talking about that day. That's just bare basics of it. This weekend is going to be jam-packed full of stuff. I'm going to be happy. I know Mav is going to be happy. WrestleMania is going on this weekend. I'm actually, Mav, if you want to bring yourself in here to talk about it real quick. I'm a little excited about this WrestleMania for certain storylines. What do you think here?
I'm legit only excited for the main event. I'm a big Cody Rhodes fan, and I'll be honest. I like watching WrestleMania. I still do. I always will. But some years I could skip for legit reasons.
Right.
But this year feels a little special to me. It feels, because here's the thing. Main event, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, WWE title, or whatever title they're gonna put up.
Universal World Heavyweight,
whatever the name of it is now. Fuck, I don't care.
Alpha God Destroyer title.
But as far as, I mean, if you guys want a story that lasted for like 10 years, legit 10 years from the time, well, anyway, like just a very long story. This is it. Because if you're a wrestling fan, if you've ever kept up with it and kept up with Cody Rhodes outside of it, going to AEW and all that, it's a whole new situation. It's a whole new story, and something like this going from WWE to the outside to Japan to all that to now coming back to WWE after all that controversy. This is the one. This is the match you want to see for sure.
I feel like people are going to be disappointed with the outcome.
I'm expecting it. I have to expect a very disappointing outcome from WWE now, which sucks even worse.
Because as much as Hunter, Triple H, has been, extremely good. We know who's behind.
He's been great.
We know who's behind the scenes, and if he's there in Gorilla, who the fuck is going to tell him no? Who is going to?
I'll give him credit.
Who's going to finally step up and be like, you know what? No, that's not what we're doing.
Yeah, I'll give him credit. He knows what he's doing. The problem is that he's still focused on NXT, and that's a whole nother situation. But as far as the product goes, since Vince McMahon was forced into resigning the first time, it improved. I gotta send my coworker another thing here. Did I screw that up? I did.
I don't know what happened.
My fault. I clicked the wrong button. Anyway, yeah. I mean, Vince McMahon is great, or it was great. I mean, he's had his time. Call you back in a minute. But yeah, like the way everything has changed since that first controversy came out, it made the product a little bit more attentive. A lot of people were starting to focus more on seeing how that's going to play out, and it's been really good up until the last pay-per-view. But now WrestleMania is here. We got a big storyline. We have a whole bunch of other stuff to promote. Bray Wyatt might not make it to WrestleMania. So there's a whole lot of there's a lot of differences that are coming out. They're still not sure how they're going to split it up into 2 nights because they don't have much to promote. But either way, it's going to be an exciting night or exciting weekend, I should say. But yeah, you can never underestimate the disappointment from WWE nowadays, and that's not just a barium. I mean, it happens with everybody. I mean, AEW fucked up,
Yeah.
But
I always wanted to ask this real quick because I mean, you and I have talked on a different podcast, which I want to bring back, the Ring Psychology podcast. When we talked with Nick, you were with Forge, Rival Forge, at the time, and we were talking about everything. But what I wanted to actually know from people is, because from what I've seen, it's a kind of a mixed bag. But in your opinion, is 2 nights too much? Because I'm not gonna lie, I was more than entertained by the 3.5 hour WrestleManias that they had before. They were the big matches, the biggest storylines of the year. That's what it was supposed to be. Now they have so many people on the roster and so many different storylines that I guess they feel are WrestleMania worthy, and just over. And it started getting to a point where you were starting to have WrestleManias one night that were like 5 hours because of the theatrics, because of everything that goes with it, the live concerts that they have. Undertaker's fucking entrance itself is 30,000 minutes long. Certain people take forever to certain things that go down with the presentation of it. That's why they broke it into the 2 nights. At the time, I was like, well, if you're gonna have that long, it's hard to keep an audience attentive for 5 hours. So if you broke it up into 2 nights, you kind of you're making more money out of it. Because you're basically doubling WrestleMania. And you're not keeping it as long, so both nights the crowd will be into it for virtually the entirety of the show, depending on how well the wrestlers and the stories and stuff like that can be executed. But I'm looking at it now going, I mean, I guess call it nostalgia. I kind of miss those times where it was a 3.5 hour show. You started off with a badass fucking tornado tag team ladder match for the titles, and or do something like bring back keeping Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. Have that be the opening ladder match every single WrestleMania from here on out, and then from there, kind of do wherever you want to rotate it. But basically, it should just be that plus the main titles. So you have the tag team titles, Intercontinental, U.S. Championship, women's tag team titles. All the title matches go on, ending with obviously the top prize in the company. You start off with Money in the Bank, nothing but title matches all through the card. That's what WrestleMania should be.
I can agree with
most,
that.
that would be 4 hours probably.
Right. So the record is not 5 hours. The record is actually 7.5. And that was WrestleMania 30. It was either 35 or 36. And that one was the one where it was main event with Ronda Rousey, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch. And that was exhausting. I mean,
7
I
hours
can.
is nuts, man.
That's too much. That's too much. So that's why they split it, because they
That's
packed it so much that they had to start splitting it. But then when they split it, COVID happened, and then we got what we got. So I'm not even worried about that. But personally, I don't feel they have enough relevant storylines or matches to promote. And if they can't. I mean, they only have until. I mean, they have to put it up this weekend. They got to put some impromptu matches up this weekend if they plan on doing two nights. And if that's going to happen, just make it a Raw or SmackDown. You know, I mean, they have till Friday, basically. But
I mean, and you can have Stand and Deliver on Friday.
yeah, you still have NXT to promote. So it's a little tough
like
for
the
them
idea,
to hold.
That's what I'm saying. Instead of having it 2 nights, because again, you kind of say, I mean, not to say NXT has been necessarily anything worth fucking watching nowadays, but you have NXT and then you have one night WrestleMania. How do you condense it down to where if your titles are not storyline worthy to be presented at WrestleMania, that's a problem.
It is.
That means there's absolutely that means you show no value in that title because it's not being presented at WrestleMania.
No, it's not that you don't put value in the title, it's you don't put value in the roster. If you're going to have that, if you're going to put any value in the title, you have to put value in your talent, in your locker room. And I mean, you guys talk about the sport aspect all the time, and how like these guys are getting treated and all that, and how they get into some trouble. Some guys get into trouble. Matt Riddle being one of the biggest examples right now. So I don't expect it to be an all-time big WrestleMania except for the main event, but considering the competition that they have right now, it's going to be really tough to keep people engaged in WrestleMania. It's not going to be, I mean, people are going to watch. They're still going to make their millions of dollars. That's not going to change. But
just for the people showing up alone.
Exactly. Yeah, just from that, just from the aspect of it, just from the casual aspect of it.
Yeah.
But but considering the way the last pay-per-view went, they legit had a match in black light. All in black light. And that was the pitch black match. Yeah. I don't think that they have any coverage as far as that goes. So one night would make it a lot easier. But they're going Hollywood. They're putting a whole bunch of hype on it. So what are they going to do to fill in the time? They're going to put segments together. They're going to put entertainment aspects. They're going to throw in another musical artist to waste time on the pay-per-view. That's all it is. That's all it's ever been.
Yeah.
So whatever they can't fill in the ring, they'll fill it on the stage. So that's a whole nother aspect for it. And I'm sorry, Corey, I know you're quiet over there. I mean, but if you're just getting into wrestling, if you're just wanting to see something cool to watch WrestleMania. I highly encourage it. I highly encourage you to check out every single match outside of the main event and really, really look at it. LA Knight is on a roll right now. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Bloodline. That's an amazing storyline that they came up with. It's the best storyline since AEW was created. Since AEW started, they had to come up with something big for a storyline to keep up with. That's their biggest one. Bloodline and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. That's amazing. And then to have Cody Rhodes pull off the biggest headlines you could ever see in pro wrestling, coming over back to WWE after all that, coming into this match and get involved with the Bloodline storyline, Bloodline story, it makes for a great build. So that's just something we got to look forward to, and I hope that it becomes a much better promoted event than I'm expecting. I hope the matches are great. I hope everyone loses their shit and just fucking has a great time.
I think for me personally, the one that I'm actually looking forward to the most, and I kind of said this last year because when I just get those vibes, from her, Bianca Belair and Asuka.
I want to see Asuka win. I love
I
Asuka.
do, and to be completely honest with you, I fully expect Asuka to win. But that doesn't mean Bianca Belair is not going to put on a show in the process. Because
No.
I said it last year with her, and again, this is my own personal opinion. This is, everyone else can think a different way. But I look at her as like the female showstopper, Shawn Michaels of that division. Because at WrestleMania, she steals the show, if not up there with top 2, top 3 matches of WrestleMania. She's
Right.
that good on that night. She just is. I don't know. She just has that factor about her. She is a superstar. Like no ifs, ands, buts, or maybes about it. What she brings to the table, she's absolutely 100% a superstar. But when you're talking about the event of WrestleMania, I don't think there is a woman in wrestling right now that is better in the high key moment like WrestleMania than Bianca Belair.
I think that Bianca Belair is probably one of the fastest rising female wrestlers that WWE's ever had. I love that I love that they made her that she made her gimmick the EST of WWE, because that's exactly what she's become.
Yeah.
She's been the strongest. She's a power lifter.
Yeah.
She's the fastest. She's the anything that ends in EST, she's probably that.
Yeah.
As far as the women's roster goes. So
she's pound for pound in the women's division. She's the strongest in the division, and
she's proven not only that, but she's proven that she can hold main event level. She's earned that title, and when she won it, I forget when she won it, but I knew like as soon as she won it, she'd have a great run, and that's exactly what we're seeing from her.
When she beat Sasha.
Right.
That match, that's where I sat and I saw it and I was like, "Oh, Bianca Belair's that. She's gonna be the one that she might be the first female superstar to main event multiple WrestleManias, depending on how they kind of build it and put as her opponent." Because I think she can go with any of the quote unquote four horsewomen
Right.
of them. She already, went against Sasha. I think she can go toe to toe, no problem with Charlotte, Becky, Bailey as well. That's what I'm saying with Bianca. I think they have something in her that, if done correctly and put in the right hands, and you can obviously say this about anything, but shit happens. Bianca could be that superstar that brings in, that you can base basically, if you're going to keep it night 1, night 2, you can main event one of those nights her. She's the main event of that night.
She's the perfect closer. Yeah. She's definitely the perfect closer for them. And we've seen in the last like 3 or 4 years that women can hold that title, that not that title, but I mean that spot on the show.
Yeah.
And it's great to see that they're building it up. It's just sometimes they don't keep everyone around that they should. They should have kept Sasha Banks. They should have done everything in their power to help her out, to see what's going on with that. Why she left, we still don't know.
I think with her, it got to a point, she had already done it all in WWE, and she got to a point where she was kind of looking for a way out. An opportunity came, in the way that it did, and she said, "I'm out." I think she wanted to prove that she can do more than just WWE. I really do think she wanted to take over the independent circuit. Doing it at New Japan, AEW, Impact, wherever, and proving that she can do it anywhere. And then I can guarantee, like, this is honestly not the last time you're ever going to see Sasha Banks or uh, Mercedes Moné as back in WWE. And when she gets back into WWE, she might go by Mercedes Moné. I don't know. She might go by her original name, but I think you'll see her back in the WWE within the next 3-4 years. You'll
I agree. I think one thing I've learned about wrestling is that no matter where they end up, there's going to be a distinct difference between professional wrestlers and WWE superstars. Big difference. You could be an indie darling. You could be any level of professional wrestler you can be. But WWE has that superstar aspect to it, that aesthetic to it. If you're an athlete, if you're coming in from football, if you're coming in from another sport, they love you already. If you're coming in from college, they love you even more.
Yeah.
So it depends on where you go in the process. And if they could take you before you go to some wrestling school to do wrestling, to wrestle on that level, then go for it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the professional wrestler side of it, you bring up Sasha Banks, you bring up Mercedes Moné. Sasha Banks held some amazing matches in NXT. Some of the best we've ever seen in all of WWE in the last 20 years for women.
She has been part of.
She's been part of that women's revolution.
She's been part of at least 3 of the top 5 matches in women's history.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that but now what I really respect out of everybody in WWE that leaves and goes on to the indies is that, one, they leave with automatic name recognition. I mean, that's a given. 2, you're looking at the regional side of it. You're looking at they're able to hone their craft. And in Sasha Banks's case, she went from becoming WWE Women's Champion to Women's Tag Team Champion over to New Japan, and automatically what had the best ring debut I've ever seen, especially live. And having that momentum going into it is going to work with her in Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already talking about a women's G1 climax tournament. They're already talking about a possible New Japan Cup for women, for the Women of Stardom. But going
she
from
could be getting in at the perfect time to be like the front runner to launch that.
The perfect time to build the women's division in NJPW, and giving the IWGP Women's Championship, which was just minted, was just made, and all, and everything, it gives it that much more legitimacy.
Yeah.
And to have and that's what I want to instill on, like, you. Well, I mean, you know it, you've seen it,
yeah.
But I'll bring up Corey, sitting on mute there, no problem. But the casual fans who happen to watch WWE every now and then, if you like guys like Cody Rhodes, Watch his stuff in Japan. Watch his stuff in Ring of Honor. If you like Sasha Banks in WWE, check out what she did in San Jose for New Japan when she won the women's title. She's already been getting that much momentum, and a lot of people should totally look at New Japan. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of other companies out there. It's a whole big world, just like you guys are with football, the A7FL, XFL, and all that. Look at these companies coming in ever since 2019 that are coming in a lot more now. New Japan already started their expansion in America.
Yep.
AEW just had their West Coast debut, so it's amazing. It's a crazy sort of like world we have where we see all these guys come in, and we don't expect the biggest matches they put on, but there's so much bigger and outside of WWE nowadays. There's so much more aspect to it, and we don't see that very much anymore until now. So if you want to see more than just the same old WWE, if you want to see more than the same talking points, if you're tired of hearing me just bury WWE whenever I do it, go check out these guys.
Go on YouTube and find everything. It is all there.
Exactly. Go on YouTube. Who do you want to see? You want to see Japanese wrestling? Put in Japanese wrestling. I guarantee you're going to find a match with former NXT superstar Timothy Thatcher and Pro Wrestling Noah. You're going to see a lot of great wrestling out there. So, I mean, WrestleMania, yes, that's coming up this weekend. Enjoy it. Have fun. Go back to YouTube and check out Kota Ibushi and Will Ospreay and watch that one. Ooh, that's a good one. So
watch Wrestle Kingdom.
Hey, if you go on the internet and look for Wrestle Kingdom 17, which is the last one this year, they put on some great matches. Or Battle in the Valley, Okada, Tanahashi. You got a main event. You got a WrestleMania main event level right there. So I highly encourage, if you want constant WrestleManias, you're not going to get it in WWE ever. You're going to get it once a year because that's all they could do. Because that's all they're going to spend the most of their money on is that one night a year. Meanwhile, it's not just about the flash. It's not just about the stage presence. It's about, for New Japan, it's about the ring. It's about, you got your flashy entrances, you got all that, but when it comes to the actual like exciting part of it, it's in the ring. And if you've ever went to one of their shows live in America, it's a trip to see that live as opposed to online. So and then at the same time, go support your local promotions. Go check out those shows. You'll never know who you're gonna see. Make it to the main rosters of any company, more so than any football player for the MLB, faster than any NFL player that's coming from college getting drafted. You want to see some guys that you personally know. If you are lucky enough to know if you're lucky enough to know a pro wrestler, watch them. Guaranteed. I have a cousin who's a professional wrestler for Supreme Pro Wrestling, and I am excited for it. Dude is big. Let's just say that.
So the passion of it, because that season brings out the best in a lot of wrestling fans. So
it really does.
Go check out WrestleMania. Go check out A7FL. Check out XFL. There's so many things happening this weekend. Go check it all. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate the absolute hell out of you guys for hanging out with us on this Wednesday night. Once again, we will see you guys on Friday with Derek Duncan and possibly maybe Corey Hammond. As for everything else, there's a lot more things coming. Stay tuned. Appreciate it. Talk to you guys soon. For myself, JP, for 610 V's from the Southeast, this is Country K. For the Marvelous Maverick, We will see you guys again next time. Deuces.